Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, clap it up. What's going on, Israel? I'm Priest and Officer Shagapan of the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. And since 1969, we've been hitting the streets on almost every single corner in any city, in any state, in almost any country you can possibly think of, to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to spread the truth of who the real Jews of the Bible are, which are so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called that have been scattered all across this globe. And today you're tuning into our Tuesday Brotherhood class. Now, last Tuesday we had some difficult, but the previous Tuesday we went over something called the 12 brothers, going into the book of Genesis and dealing how the 12 brothers of it, the 12 sons of Israel, excluding Benjamin because he was a baby at the time, dealt with each other, specifically with Joseph, right? And now we're going to continue that story into part 2, where we're going to be going through Genesis chapter 42, 43, 44, and 45, all right? So for everyone that's watching online, I want you all to go to Genesis chapter 42, and we're going to start there. All right, let me just check the chat real quick. All right, that's looking good right now. Facebook is looking good. I don't see any questions yet. Let me check the YouTube. So everyone should be turning to Genesis chapter 42. That is where we're going to start. All right. And we are good on the YouTube as well. All right. So let's go to Genesis chapter 42. Azaraki, you got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to start at... Yeah, we're going to start at verse 1. Now, just to give you a little backdrop, right? Joseph has been sold by his brothers to heathens who carried him to Egypt. He was sold again. You know, he started working for a captain of the guard or something like that, right? He's doing a good job. You know, he's gaining a reputation. Then the guard's wife, the captain's wife, tries to seduce him, then lies on him. Joseph gets thrown into prison, into the dungeon for a couple of years. While he's there, he's revealing prophecies to the other, let's just say, prisoners that ends up coming true. And he's end up left there, forgotten about. And then one day, the Lord remembers Joseph. And now Joseph completes a task or breaks down a prophecy, right? And he ends up getting favor with Pharaoh and becoming second over all of Egypt. So he is now in command of everything Pharaoh has, right? And there's a big famine that is hitting the land. And this is where we jump into the story with Jacob, also known as Israel, is what comes back into the picture, right? Read.
Genesis 42:1. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, why do we look one upon another?
Now, right, there's a big famine going on, and Jacob, the father of Israel, the father of the 12 tribes of Israel, he's saying, look, there's no corn around us, there's no food around us, there's famine, people are starving, there's food in Egypt. You know, what are we twiddling our thumbs for? Let's go, let's make moves, right? Keep going.
Verse 2, and he said, behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down there and buy for us from thence, that ye may live and not die.
And Jacob tells his son, hey, check this out. Listen, there's food, there's corn down in Egypt. Y'all need to take yourselves, pack some stuff, go down to Egypt and buy some corn. Get some corn, bring it back so our family can live. so our servants can live, so our wives, our children, so we can carry on, right? Keep going.
And Joseph, 10 brethren, went down to buy corn in Egypt.
Now Joseph, his 10 brothers, right? You got Reuben, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Gad, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar, and Dan. Joseph is already in Egypt ruling things, right? And Benjamin is a baby, right? So Joseph, his brothers all did what their father told them to do and went down to Egypt to go buy corn. Keep going.
But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, lest peradventure mischief before him.
Lest peradventure mischief befall him. So you know, Joseph was Jacob's favorite son, his beloved son, right? And Benjamin was still just a baby. Joseph ended up being sold into slavery by his older 10 brothers, and they told their father that he died, he must have been killed by an animal. And Jacob was brokenhearted, devastated for quite a number of days or weeks, crying and mourning over the loss of his son. And he wasn't going to put his baby son, his young son, in any type of danger. Peradventure mischief befall upon him. He was worried that something might happen to his baby boy. You know what I'm saying? His young son. Like what happened to Joseph. Keep going.
And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan.
So Israel sent his 10 sons to Egypt because there's a famine in the land of Canaan, right? And Egypt got corn. Egypt, because of Joseph's wisdom that the Lord granted to him, because of Joseph's ability to break down prophecies and dreams that the Lord gave to him, he was able to save all of Egypt by storing food in preparation for the famine that the Lord revealed to him was going to come. All right, keep going.
And Joseph was the governor over the land.
What?
And Joseph was the governor over the land.
Joseph was ruling the entire land of Egypt, right under Pharaoh. That's how much Pharaoh cared for Joseph and trusted Joseph, because he saved Egypt. By saving Egypt, he magnified Pharaoh in the eyes of everyone. So Pharaoh put him in charge over everything. That's Pharaoh's right hand, Joseph, an Israelite, ruling a heathen's land because he wasn't wise enough to rule it himself correctly. The Lord wasn't with that heathen to be able to rule that land, but Joseph was. An Israelite man was. A so-called Puerto Rican / Cuban was smart enough and wise enough and had favor with the Lord to be able to rule this land, to be able to save the people. But it was all for a specific reason. And we'll find out as we continue reading. Keep going.
It was that sold to all the people of the land.
Read it again, I'm sorry.
And Joseph was the governor of the land. And it was that sold to all the people of the land.
Joseph's behind the selling of the food, making sure he's giving everyone a particular portion for how much money they give. Keep going.
And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth.
Read that again, because that's something that we went over in part 1. What Joseph's brothers are doing right now is exactly what made them hate Joseph when Joseph would reveal his dreams to them and brag about. Read it again.
And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth.
So Joseph would have dreams that a stalk of corn is in the middle of a field, and there's 10 or 11 other stalks of corn around him, bowing down to him because he's the middle stalk of corn, right? He got all these different 11 let's just say 11 stones and the sun and the moon bowing down to him, which was representing his mother, his father, and his 11 other brothers, right? Or 10 other brothers. He was having these specific dreams that he would reveal and brag about to his brothers, which caused them to be jealous of him, which caused his brothers to hate Joseph so much that they sold Joseph into slavery. They beat Joseph up. They threw him in a ditch. They stole his favorite coat that their father gave to him. And then they lied to the father and said that an animal killed him. All because Joseph kept having these visions. But it became true. Because now Joseph is the governor of the land. He's the reason why there's people are surviving and not starving to death. And here comes his brothers, and they do what?
And bow down themselves before him with their faces to the earth.
And his prophecy came true yet again. Keep going.
And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them.
So Joseph recognized his brothers off the rip. He knew who they were, but he made himself strange to them. He was dressed like an Egyptian, probably hiding his face. You know what I mean? With a face covering and an Egyptian guard. They wouldn't be, years have passed. They wouldn't be able to recognize their brother who they sold into slavery. They wouldn't expect to see their brother who they sold into slavery ruling all of Egypt, selling them corn. They would not be expecting that they are actually bowing down with their face towards the earth to their young brother, just like he said they would years ago. Keep going.
And spake roughly unto them.
And he spoke rough unto them. Now he didn't speak to them with kindness, He was basically in disguise, playing a part. Right? Keep going.
And he said unto them, Hence come ye. And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him.
And Joseph knew. Joseph's playing it cool right now. He's in disguise, He's acting like he's not Joseph, the Joseph that they know. Keep going.
And Joseph remembered the dreams.
What?
And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamt of them.
And Joseph, at that moment, he remembered the dreams that he told them, that he dreamt about, with them bowing down to him, with their faces to the ground. Keep going.
And he said unto them, Ye are spies.
What?
Ye are spies. To see the nakedness of that land, ye are come.
Now at this moment, he's playing with them. He's not really thinking that they're spies. He's toying with them. He's pulling their leg. Again, he's in disguise. He's all dressed up as an Egyptian. They don't know that it's Joseph. But he knows that those are his brothers. So he tells them, you guys are lying. You guys are spies. You're coming to check out land. You're coming to check out the Pharaoh's kingdom to look for any weaknesses. Right? Keep going.
And they said unto him, Nay, my Lord.
My what?
Nay, my Lord.
Joseph had dreams that his brothers were going to bow down to him. And they beat him up for it. Joseph bragged that they were going to bow down to him and call him Lord, and he was going to rule and reign over them, and they were jealous of him for it. They sold him into slavery for it. They threw him down in a pit for it. And here they are, calling him what?
My Lord.
Keep going.
But to buy food are thy servant come.
And his brothers are saying, listen, my Lord, we've just come to buy food. We're starving. Our people are hungry. Keep going.
Ye are all one man's sons. Ye are true men. Thy servants are no spies.
And they're saying, listen, all 10 of us, we're the sons of one man. We're true men. We're righteous men. We have a code of conduct. We have morals. A little late for them to tell Joseph that, right? Imagine you being the brother, beaten up, thrown into a pit, your favorite clothing ripped and stolen from you, you sold to strange people for, I think it was 20 pieces of silver. Right? Keep going.
And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of thy land ye are come.
He's saying, you guys are lying. You're not telling me the truth. You've come here to scope out Egypt and our strengths and our weaknesses. You're coming here to see what you can go and return back to another king or another kingdom to try to conquer and invade Egypt. I don't believe you. Keep going.
And they said, thy servants are 12 brethren.
What?
Thy servants are 12 brethren.
They have the audacity to tell Joseph, we are 12 brothers in total. Meanwhile, Joseph knows, y'all sold me. You mother effers sold me. Right? Keep going.
The sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, thy youngest is this day with our father, and one is not.
And they end up saying, well, listen, we're 10 right here. Our youngest brother's with our father, and there's another brother that he's not with us at all. Keep going.
And Joseph said unto them, this is it that I spake unto you, saying, ye are spies.
Joseph, like, I don't want to hear none of that. You guys are spies. Keep going.
Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh, ye shall now go forth hence. Expect your youngest brother.
Except
your youngest brother come hither.
And Joseph, like, y'all not going to go anywhere until y'all prove to me what you're saying is true. And I need your youngest brother, your baby brother, to be here. That's how you're going to prove to me you're not lying. Keep going.
Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison.
Listen, I'm going to send one of you guys back to your land of Canaan to go get your youngest brother and bring him back. And until then, the rest of you are going to stay in prison. You're going to be my prisoners until the youngest brother comes back. Until the youngest brother comes. Right? Keep going.
That your word may be proved.
Then I'll know you're telling me the truth. Keep going up.
Whether there be any truth in you.
And then that will determine whether there'll be truth in you. That will determine whether you're telling me the truth. Keep going.
Or else, by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies.
Because otherwise, I could swear unto Pharaoh that you guys are spies. I swear unto Pharaoh's life that you're telling me the truth. That you're not telling me the truth, Salakia. On Pharaoh's life, you guys are lying to me. Keep going.
And he put them all together into ward 3 days.
And he threw them all into prison for 3 days. Keep going.
And Joseph said unto them, the third day, this do, and live, for I fear God. And
Joseph says, go and live, because I fear God. Imagine hearing that. You know, we grow up and we hear about how the Egyptians had their own gods, 12 gods, and Amun, Ru, and Ra, and blah, blah, blah. But you have this man, what appears to be an Egyptian, saying that he fears God. He doesn't fear Ra. He doesn't fear Amun Ra. He doesn't fear Amun. He doesn't fear Horus or Osiris. He doesn't fear Isis. He fears God. He fears the power. Keep going.
If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses.
And he said, if you guys really are telling the truth, one of your brothers would stay in prison, and the rest y'all can carry corn back to your land because they're starving. Y'all can go back home because your people are starving. Keep going.
But bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so.
And he said, but this is the agreement. Y'all need to bring your baby brother here. So I know that you have been speaking the truth from the very beginning. And no one will die. No one will be put to death. Because what's the alternative? They don't come back, right? Joseph, if he really was a heathen, can send an army out there to go kill his entire family. Could have hunted them down, right? Kill the man that stayed behind and left in prison. Keep going.
Verse 21. And they said one to another, We are very guilty concerning our brother.
What?
We are very guilty concerning our brother.
They end up admitting to him. They end up admitting to their own brother, who they don't know is their own brother because they sold him into slavery, who is now ruling all of Egypt. They tell him, we're very guilty. We're very sorry in regards to our brother. Keep going.
And that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear, therefore, in this distress come upon us.
So they're revealing something to him. They're starting to reveal what happened to their young brother, Joseph, who they're actually speaking to. Keep going.
And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, do not sin against the child.
And Reuben, if you remember from part 1, Reuben told his other 9 brothers, don't hurt Joseph. Don't harm Joseph. Don't do nothing. Don't sin against Joseph. But they ended up selling Joseph behind Reuben's back. Keep going.
And ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required.
Now they have to pay for the crime that they did against their own brother. Now they fear that what they did to Joseph all those years ago, finally God is punishing them for that. Their judgment has finally caught up to them. You can't get away with the Lord. There's nothing you can do that the Lord is ever going to forget about. You will be punished for all the sins that you have done in the world unless you change your life. And even coming into the truth, we all fall short sometimes trying to get right. Remember, listen, it's good that you're striving for perfection. But even in striving for perfection, the times that you failed, even though you get back up, the Lord is still going to require judgment on your faults. Keep going.
And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter.
And this entire time, Joseph speaks Hebrew. Joseph also speaks the whatever language the Egyptians were speaking back then. They don't know that Joseph can understand them speaking Hebrew. Because the entire time it just said that Joseph was speaking to his brothers by way of an interpreter. So Joseph was just playing the funk, acting like he didn't speak Hebrew. He was using an interpreter who spoke Hebrew to speak to his brothers. This entire time he's just playing it cool, in disguise, incognito. Right? Keep going.
And he turned himself about from them and wept.
And what?
And wept.
And this is how you know Joseph isn't holding any animosity towards his brothers. This is how you know that Joseph, after his brothers beating him, after his brothers throwing him into a pit, after his brothers stealing his favorite coat that his dad gave him, after his brothers dug him out of the pit and sold him to heathens for 20 pieces of shekels, after these heathens brought him to Egypt and sold him to the captain of the guard. Right about it, captain of the guard?
Huh?
Joseph was sold to the captain of the guard, if I'm not mistaken.
Captain of the prison.
Captain of the prison, right? After working his way up to being good sights of that captain, the captain's wife tries to say that Joseph rapes her or tried to rape her, gets him thrown in prison, suffering for years, left in prison for years. And now he's made something of himself, ruling all of Egypt for Pharaoh. He could have animosity towards his brother. He could have hatred in his heart, like they had hatred in their heart when Joseph would brag about his dreams, when Joseph would show off his favorite special coat that his father gave him and not to them. How dad loves him more than he loves his other brothers. Joseph could have some hatred in his heart and want revenge. But what did Joseph do instead?
And he turned himself about from them.
He turned around from them. He walked off a little bit. And what?
And wept.
And what?
And wept.
And he cried. Because his brothers, he just heard his brothers confessing to one another about the crimes that they did to him. And now they're sorry for it. Now they realize that they're paying for that trespass against their brother. Joseph is listening to this entire conversation, and they have no idea that this is their brother who they beat, who they threw in the pit, who they sold into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. Right? Keep going.
And returned to them again.
No, wiped the tears away from his eyes, threw some water on his face, dried it, and returned back to his brothers. Keep going.
And communed with them, and took from them Simeon, and bound him before their eyes.
And he went back to them and did what he said he was going to do. He took Simeon prisoner, had him tied up right in front of their eyes. They're watching their brother Simeon get chained up, put in handcuffs, tied up, going to be taken to prison. And they can't do nothing about it. Because in their minds, this is their punishment for what they did to their brother Joseph all those years ago. In their eyes, this is their punishment and judgment for lying to their father and saying that Joseph was murdered. Watching their father cry for days and weeks and months, mourning over Joseph, when in fact they sold him into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. Keep going.
Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them.
And Joseph sent them all on their way back home with corn, with a ton of corn, gave them back their money, right? Sent them on their way with extra food for the journey back. Keep going.
And they laded their asses with the corn and the parts thence.
And the brothers left to go back to their land.
And as of one of them opened his sack to give his provider in the end, he espied his money. For behold, it was in his sack mouth.
And when they got to an inn, a place where they can rest, one of the brothers decided, listen, I'm going to go feed my donkey. I'm going to go feed my animal. He goes to feed his animal and realizes that the money that they were supposed to use to spend on purchasing the corn was in their bags, as if they never paid for the corn. Keep going.
And he said unto his brethren, my money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, what is this that God hath done unto us?
And now they are scared, because now they're thinking, oh my God, they're going to think we stole from them. They're going to think we never paid for this corn. They're going to think we robbed them. Oh man, God, please, what are you doing to us? They think God is punishing them and burying them deeper into a pit. The same pit that they threw their brother into. This is what's going through their mind. Keep going.
And they came unto Jacob their father, unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying.
And when they finally got back home, they told their father everything that has happened to them and what needs to be done. Keep going.
And the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly unto us, and took us for spies of the country.
And they said that the man that's running Egypt, right? What would you call it? The CEO of Egypt, right now, Pharaoh's right-hand man, he was not kind to us. He thought we were spies, trying to spy out the land of Egypt. Keep going.
And we said unto him, we are true men, we are no spies.
We told him we're good men, we're righteous men, we're not spies. Keep going.
We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan.
We told them we're all together, we're 12 brothers. One is dead. One is not with us anymore. And the other is our youngest baby brother. He's with our father back in the land. Continue.
And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your household, and be gone.
And he told, this is how we're going to prove that we're true men, that we're not lying. He tied up Simeon, threw him in jail before our eyes, gave us corn and told us to come back here because our people were suffering and hungry. But he told us that we need to go back with the youngest brother. Keep going.
And bring your youngest brother unto me.
Just what I said. They got to return with Benjamin. That's how they're going to prove that they're not telling a lie. Keep going.
Then shall I know that ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver your younger Salakia. So will I deliver you, your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land.
And listen, when we bring our youngest brother to prove that we're telling the truth, then we can do business freely in the land. You know, we can buy what we got to buy, have no issues, have no problems. What verse are we on now?
Verse 35.
All right, let me just check the for any questions or comments. All right, give me 1 second.
I'm done.
Nothing on YouTube?
Last.
What about on Facebook?
It's like I don't believe I saw it. Yeah.
So Franco Francek, the Day of Atonement is September 15th at sundown until September 16th sundown. So this Wednesday, tomorrow, sundown, until Thursday, sundown. That's the Day of Atonement, all right? So all the brothers and sisters that are joining, Shalom, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yashai Barakatham, Yahweh Shamar Latham Ba'Shem Yashai, all right? All right, let's get back. What verse are we on?
35.
Genesis chapter 42, verse 35. Go ahead, read, brother.
And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that, behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack.
Now, when they're taking all the food out and taking everything out of their bags, they realized that every one of their brothers still had their money. Keep going.
And when both they and their fathers saw the bundles of money, they were afraid.
And now everyone's afraid now because they thought only one man had the money, still had his money. Now they all had their money. So now the dad is worried that something terrible is going to happen to Simeon, who's still in prison. They're thinking that they're going to have an army sent over there to kill them, to destroy them, to take them all into prison. Right? Keep going.
And Jacob their father said unto them, may have ye bereaved of my children.
What?
Salakia. And Jacob their father said unto them, may have. And Jacob their father said unto them, me have ye bereaved of my children.
What's bereaved mean? I don't know what it means. What does it mean? For everyone that's online, you should be looking up the word bereaved. You always want to know what words mean when you come across it, right? Someone tell me, well, what does bereaved mean? Why is this word specific and says bereaved? Anyone? Abadia, you got it?
Yeah, come.
What does bereaved mean, Abadia?
Deprived of a close relation or a friend through their death.
Right? Jacob is saying, you are depriving me of life, of my children's life.
Right.
You are going to lead me to losing all my children through death. Because of you dumb idiots, imagine your dad talking to your older brothers. Because you dumb mother effers, because of you a-holes, because of you terrible sons, you already got my beloved son killed. You got him killed and he was stolen from me. You deprived me of my joy, Joseph, and he got murdered and eaten alive by an animal. At least that's what they told him. Now, because of your stupidity, now because of whatever led you to have your money still in your bags, now all of you are going to be put to death. All of you are going to be taking it from me. Even my baby boy, Benjamin. I'm going to be deprived of the life of my children through the death of my children. Keep going.
Joseph is not, and Simeon is not.
Joseph is dead. He's not here. Simeon, God knows if he's alive or not. For what we know, he's in prison, going through whatever torture or pain and suffering he's going through. Keep going.
And ye will take Benjamin away.
And now you want to take my youngest son, my baby boy, away from me? Keep going.
All these things are against me.
All these things are against me. All these things are what you call it? I don't want to say downfalls. All these things are the grave troubles that are putting weight on my shoulder. Right? Keep going.
And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee.
And Reuben, the eldest son, says to his father, Father, you can kill my 2 sons if I don't bring Benjamin back to you. Keep going.
Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again.
If you entrust Benjamin's life in my hands, I promise to you, Dad, I swear to you, Dad, that I will bring him back. Benjamin will return to you, Father, I promise. Keep going.
And he said, my son shall not go down with you.
And Jacob's like, I already know what happened the last time when Joseph went to go be with you guys. Look what happened to Simeon. He's in prison right now for going with you guys. And you expect me to have my baby boy go with you? Joseph is dead. Simeon's in prison being tortured and starved and whipped to death and whipped. And you expect me to send my little Benjamin with you back there? I don't think so. It ain't going to happen. Keep going.
For his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief before him by the way in the which he go, then shall he bring down my gray hairs with sorrows to the grave.
If Benjamin dies, you guys are going to be the reason why I die.
No. I just, if I give it to anybody.
Go ahead, brother.
In his mind,
just speak up your show.
So like in his mind, he's sending his child, or he has one of his sons inside of a jail, inside of a place where it's okay to kill your wife if they want to have sex.
Yeah.
That's not a place you want your child to be in jail.
Yeah.
That's like, imagine your son, like, your kids go to Russia to visit or whatever. Yeah, so-and-so got locked up in the gulag. Got locked up in the what?
Right.
They use wolves as cargo.
That's like sending your son to go visit Afghanistan right now. They're murdering people in Afghanistan. What do you think? I'm stupid? You want me to send my son to Egypt? There's a famine in the land. People are probably killing each other on the road for food. Right. And you want me to send my baby boy with you on this journey?
Right.
To Egypt. Days away from me, his father. And you expect me to be fine with that? You already got one son killed. You got another son suffering in a prison somewhere, and you want me to send another son?
Right.
My youngest son? Y'all niggas out your mind.
And then not only that, the youngest, not just the youngest, the favorite.
Yeah.
The new favorite.
The new favorite. Get the baby boy. Right? Keep going.
Verse 43.
Wait.
Genesis 43:1. And the famine was sore in the land.
And the famine was great, man. It's still continuing, this famine. It's not letting up. Right? It's supposed to be what? 5 or 7 years of famine?
7 years.
7 years of famine. It was 2 years of planting?
No. It was 7 years of plenty, and then followed by 7 years
of famine.
drought.
Yes. So they did 7 years of planning to prepare for the 7 years of drought.
The prophecy was, I remember one of them was corn, like eating other corn, but the other one was 7 fat cows, and then 7 anorexic or skinny cows came and literally just ate them. And then Pharaoh woke up like, the hell's going on? Like, no one could explain what the dream was.
Yep. 7 years of prosperity and 7 years of death and famine and hunger. Right? Keep going.
And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, go again, buy us a little food.
Oh my God. We don't know how much time has passed. All we know is that they went back with a ton of corn, and their brother Simeon is still in jail. They're in the land of Canaan eating every day, eating corn, while their brother Simeon is still in jail. For that's all they know. They're eating corn, their brother's still in jail. Keep going.
And Judah spake unto them, and Judah spake unto him, saying, the man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you.
And they're like, listen, we need more food. We have to go back to Egypt. That's the only place we can get more food. And Judah's like, listen, that guy who was mean to us, he said not to show our faces again unless we come back with Benjamin. Unless we come back with our younger brother. Dad already said, hell no. What are we going to do? Keep going.
If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food.
If Dad would allow us to take Benjamin with us, we can go down and bring back food. Keep going.
But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you.
Listen, if Dad doesn't let us go down with Benjamin, we can't go back because he doesn't want to see us unless we have Benjamin with us. Keep going.
And Israel said, wherefore still ye shall err with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother.
And their father's like, why the hell you gotta go hurt me so like this? Why the hell you gotta put my heart, my emotions, my pain, my pride, my joy, why you gotta play with me like this? And tell this other man that you have another brother.
Right.
Why are you trying to hurt me so? You're putting a dagger through my heart. Stop telling people you have another brother. Man, right?
Open your goddamn mouth to goddamn strangers.
Say that again?
Open your goddamn mouth to goddamn strangers. You just keep your mouth goddamn shut.
Right? Like, that's when I was thinking. My mom would tell me, "You want to touch something? Touch your ass."
Well, I don't know about all that.
Right? You want to go run your mouth. Whatever you do, don't tell them I have other sons.
Right.
If y'all want to put yourselves into trouble, just say it's just you guys.
Yeah, come on. What's called? Stay out of grown folk business.
Yes. Stay out of grown. This is my son. He's not your brother. He's my son.
Right.
Don't talk about my son. Leave my son out of it. But you guys over here causing me trouble. Well, you guys want me to die, huh? This is what you want me to do. Y'all want me to grow old quicker. You want me to get a heart attack quicker. You want me to drink myself and drown myself in alcohol and strong wine until I die. Why are you doing such evil and ill unto me? Keep going.
And they said, the man asked us straightly of our state and of our kindred, saying.
So the man asked you and you decided to tell the truth? Now, Jacob doesn't know that his sons lied and told him all those years ago that Joseph died, right? When they actually sold him. Now they decided to tell the truth? Right? Keep going.
Saying, is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words.
He asked us if our dad was alive. We said yes. He asked us if we had other brothers. We said yes. We were being honest and truthful. We told him we would trust men. Keep going.
Could we certainly know that he would say, bring your brother down?
How would we know he would tell us we need to bring our baby brother the next time we want to buy some food? How would we know he would use this information against us?
Right.
Keep going.
And Judah said unto Israel, his father, send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die.
And he's like, and Judah telling his dad, listen, Pops, just give me the little rascal, give me Benjamin. So that way we can go down to Egypt, get what we have to get, come back, and we all can live and survive and not die, Dad. Well, you know, like, come on, we got to do this in order to survive. Just let Benjamin come with us. Keep going.
Both we and thou, and also our little ones.
That way you can live, Dad. That way we can live, Dad. That way our children can live. Keep going.
I will be surely for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever.
Listen, I take responsibility for whatever happens. If Benjamin doesn't come back, blame me. If something happens to Benjamin, blame me. Keep going.
For except we have lingered, surely now we have returned this second time.
Keep going.
And their father Israel said unto them, if it must be so, now do this. Take up the best fruit in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, a little honey, spice, and myrrh, nuts and almonds.
And Israel, Jacob, he said, listen, this is what you got to do. Make sure y'all bring some gifts and presents to this man. So that way you don't anger him any further. That way he can look past the transgression of you not paying for all the food that y'all brought back with you. Bring him some gifts and some presents. Maybe he won't be so mean and cruel to you guys. Keep going.
And take double money in your hand. Take double money.
And take double money. Y'all went down there with 100 pieces of gold. Well, go down there with 200 pieces of gold. Keep going.
In your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks.
And whatever money you guys ended up bringing back, take that back too. So he's basically going back with 3 times the amount. Keep going.
Carry it again in your hand. Preadventure it was an oversight.
And let's pray. Let's hope that it was just a miscalculation on their part. Let's hope that it was something that they slipped their own minds. Let's hope that they don't look poorly on you for them not having the money for the food that they gave you to bring back. Let's hope this is the case. Keep going.
Take also your brother and arise, go again unto the man.
And go ahead and take Benjamin and return unto this man. Right? Keep going.
The God Almighty give you mercy before the man.
What?
And God Almighty give you mercy before the man.
And that's exactly what they need. Right? Us as brothers, we need to have mercy towards one another. Right? I need mercy from my body in case I do something that offends him. Izrakia needs mercy from me in case he does something that offends me. I need mercy from Captain Tazariak in case I F up somewhere. Better yet, Captain Kataza, you know? You know how they always got the show across the line? Well, I'm behind the scenes and I gotta, I get checked every now and then for something, and I need mercy from Captain Kataza. So that way he understands that I'm doing the best I can and I'm trying to make up for whatever mistake or slip or whatever I missed, right? We all need to pray to God that that our brothers can have mercy unto us. There's brothers that are right here in the school that murdered other brothers, right? That killed people, that robbed banks and hurt other people. We need mercy for them. We need mercy. We need them to give us mercy because we've changed our lives to serve the Lord. And we pray for that mercy. We pray for them to be able to forgive us because we're going to forgive whoever offends us. We're going to forgive our brothers. We're going to forgive our sisters because if we can't forgive, then we can't expect God to forgive us. If we can't have mercy to our brothers, we can't expect God to have mercy unto us. And what did Israel say?
And God Almighty give you mercy before the man.
And may God give you mercy. May this man that's ruling Egypt have mercy on you. Keep going.
That he may send away your other brother and Benjamin.
May he have mercy to free Simeon so he can come back home. May he have mercy to not harm Benjamin so that way he can come back home. Keep going.
If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved.
Because if I have another one of my children taken from me because of their death, I'm gonna die. I already lost one son. Now I'm risking two more sons. If they don't come back, I'm dying. If they don't come back, I'm gonna dig a grave and I'm gonna put myself in it. Keep going.
And the man took the present, and they took double money in their hands, and Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph.
So they went and took presents like their dad told them. They took the money that they first brought down there, and then they brought a double portion down there. And they even was given Benjamin to take down there as well, to go stand before that evil, wicked, cruel man who was actually their brother Joseph. Hold on one second, let me just check the chat. Facebook looks good. Let me see, YouTube. Right? All right, let's continue, Babu Shah.
And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them.
And what?
And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them.
Joseph, when they came before Joseph, Joseph saw his baby brother there. Keep going.
And he said to the ruler of his house, bring these men home and slay and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon.
Listen, and he told he told the ruler of his house, if I'm not mistaken, that would be the person in charge of his house.
Right.
Right? So Joseph lives in a house. It'll probably be like his main servant.
His head butler.
Yeah, his head chef, his head butler, the person that runs his house for him.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, his Jeffrey. Right? He told him to listen, take them back to my house, go kill a nice lamb, goat, ram, and get dinner prepared because they're going to eat with me today. Keep going.
And the man did as Joseph bade. And the man brought the man into Joseph's house.
Now the man did what his master Joseph commanded him to do and brought the brothers into his house to get ready to eat. Keep going.
And the men were afraid.
What?
And the men were afraid.
And his brothers were afraid. Judah was scared. Reuben was scared. Gad was scared. Benjamin is a kid. He's scared as hell. You know, Naphtali's scared. Asher's scared. Right? Who I'm leaving out? Dan is scared. Levi's scared. Right? All these brothers, they scared. They don't know what the hell is going to happen. Keep going.
Because they was brought into Joseph's house.
Because they were brought into Joseph's house. Keep going.
And they said, because of the money that was returned in our sack at the first time, are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us and fall upon us and take us for bondmen.
Because listen, now they know that we never paid them for the first food that we got. So they might use this as a way to jump on us, to jump us, to beat us down, to kill us, to turn us into slaves, to rob us. They may use this against us. This is what's going through their mind as they're in Joseph's house. They have no idea what's about to happen. Keep going.
And our asses. And they came near the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house.
And now they're going to try to find a way out, trying to talk their way out. They go into the steward of the house of Joseph, trying to tell him, listen, you know, we didn't do nothing wrong. It was a mistake. Let's read it.
And said, O sir, We came indeed down at the first time to buy food.
They're trying to reason and plead with him. Keep going.
And it came to pass, when we came to the end, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand.
Listen, the last time we were here, when we left, when we stopped at the red stop, we realized that all the money that we were supposed to pay for this food, we still had it. No one ever took it. So we're back here again for the food that Joseph gave us. We don't want you to think that we're thieves. We have the money right here that we want to give to you for not taking it the first time. Right? Keep going.
And our money have we brought down in our hands to buy food.
And we even brought more money. We want to give you the money that for some reason was never taken from us as payment, and we have more money to give as payment for more food. Keep going.
We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks.
We don't know who put the money back in our sacks, because everything was stripped from us the first time. We don't know who did it. Keep going.
And he said, peace be to you. Fear not. Your God.
Your what?
Your God.
This Egyptian told Joseph's brother, Shalom, peace be with you. Don't be afraid, because your God, not the Egyptian God, not Ra, not Amenhotep the third and the fifth or whatever, not Isis, the Horus, not any Egyptian God, but your God, the God of the Hebrews. Your God, keep going.
And the God of your father.
The God of your father. Keep going.
Has given you treasure in your sacks.
He's the reason why you were given your money back. He's the reason why you left to go back home with all your money and extra. Keep going.
I had your money.
I had your money.
And he brought Simeon out unto them.
And after he tells them, don't worry about it. I'm the one that had your money. I'm the one that put your money back. And he went and got Simeon. Keep going.
And the man brought the man into Joseph's house and gave them water. And they washed their feet. And he gave their asses provider.
Yeah, it says provender, but it's provisions, food for the animals.
God.
So they brought Simeon back from the dungeons, or so they thought. They gave them all water to wash up, food to feed their animals. Keep going.
And they made ready the present against Joseph, came at noon.
And the brothers, they got all the present that dad told them to bring back to give to the man, to give to Joseph. They're getting everything ready to surprise Joseph. Keep going.
For they heard that they should eat bread there.
Because they heard that they were going to eat there at Joseph's house with Joseph. Keep going.
And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth.
And they brought Joseph the gifts that they brought back from the land of Canaan. And they did what?
Bowed themselves to him to the earth.
And they did again what Joseph said they were going to do. They bowed themselves to him. They bowed down to Joseph like Joseph visioned they would. Keep going.
And he asked them of their welfare and said, is your father well? The old man of whom ye speak, is he yet alive? And
now they're all relaxing and chilling and talking, right? And Joseph asked his brothers, how's your father? Is he still alive? The man that you speak about, your father, is he okay? Is he still living? Keep going.
And they answered, thy servant, our father, is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance.
They did what?
And made obeisance.
And they made obeisance to Joseph, just like Joseph said they were going to do in his dream. Let's find out what the word obeisance means. Whoever watched class 2 weeks ago, you might already know the definition of obeisance because we went over it. This is what Joseph said they were going to do in one of his dreams. They were going to pay him obeisance, right? Let me check if anyone on the chat got the answer. No one on the chat yet? Okay. Let's check the YouTube. No one on YouTube so far? You got it, Azrakia?
Khan.
What does obeisance mean?
They paid obeisance to the prince, a gesture, expression, respect, such as a bow or courtesy.
They paid respect to Joseph by bowing down to him. Just like Joseph said his brothers would do in one of his dreams. That they will pay him obeisance by bowing down to him. Paying respect and homage by bowing down to Joseph. And that's exactly what they're doing again for the third time. Keep going.
And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said.
Now he after they're bowing down, he looks up at them and he sees his baby brother. They share the same mother. Right? Because him and his brothers, they all got different mothers. They got there's 4 mothers of the whole nation of Israel. All got the same father, but there's 4 different mothers. Joseph and Benjamin share the same mother. And he looks at Benjamin and says what?
His brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, is this your youngest brother? Of whom? And he said, God be gracious unto thee.
And he asked them, is this your baby brother? Is this that young brother that you were speaking about, Benjamin? God be with you. God be with you, my son. God be with you, Benjamin. Keep going.
And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought word to weep. And he entered unto his chamber and wept there.
Now Joseph, after saying all this, his bowels was hurting him. He was feeling a mixture of sadness, of heartbreak, of heartache, of happiness, all at the same time that he couldn't control himself. He had to jet and bolt out the room so he can find somewhere where he can cry. Because you know how many years it's been since he's seen his brothers? You know how many years it's been since he's seen his baby brother Benjamin? And here they all are. All 12 brothers. Just like the class's title says, the 12 brothers. All 12 brothers are once again united under the same house. And this is how you know Joseph had no animosity towards his brothers. Because he could have had them all beaten. Joseph could have had them all starved. Joseph could have had them all thrown into a pit. Joseph could have had them all sold into slavery like they did to him. But Joseph, when he made his brothers hate him, and when he made his brothers become jealous of him, he was young, foolish, childish, immature, which is what led to him to speak in such a manner to his brothers that caused them to hate him and be jealous of him. Joseph is a wise man now. Joseph is older. He's not a child. He's not immature. He has wisen up. And he doesn't hate his brothers. He's crying because he's finally seeing his brothers again. He's crying because he knows his dad is alive. Keep going.
And he watched.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
This is Proverbs 31:6.
Proverbs chapter 31, verse 6. Go ahead, brother.
Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish.
What?
Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts.
And what?
And wine unto those that be of heavy hearts.
Listen, they're about to have a feast, right?
Right.
And Joseph is all the pain that he's gone through, all the suffering that he's gone through, the torture, to be thrown in the darkest pits of a prison, shackled. That could lead you to a heavy heart. Having your brothers who beat you, threw you in a pit, abandoned you, sold you into slavery, that can leave you with a heavy heart. Finally seeing them again, all of them, hearing your brothers talk amongst themselves about how they did their brother Joseph wrong all those years ago and how this is their punishment for doing what they did. That can leave you with a heavy heart knowing that they're sorry. And all that time you could have been hating them for doing this. And now you're right in front of your brothers. You're going to need some wine. You're going to need to drink with your brothers to unburden that heavy heart. That's what General Hyman, clap it up for General Hyman, because that man is a priest and prophet of the Lord. Second day of Hebrew Academy. Second day. He came to New York headquarters with New York, New Jersey, Yonkers, Connecticut, Philly, Delaware, and he made these brothers understand what it really means to burden what's the word I'm looking for? To take on your brother's burden, right? He made these brothers understand what that really meant. And Joseph is about to be with his brothers this entire time. He hasn't seen them in God knows how many years. And he's about to break bread with his brothers finally.
Last 1:7. Let him drink and forget his poverty and remember his misery no more.
And let Joseph drink with his brothers. So that way he can tell them about everything that happened to him. He can unburden himself of the poverty and the misfortune and the dungeons and having rats and spiders crawl over him and not having enough to eat. All that sadness and pain and torment that he went through. Let him forget all of that. He's going to sit down with his brothers, break bread, drink wine, and that's going to be as if it never happened. Good scripture about you. Keep going, Azrakia.
And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said on bread.
Now Joseph, after he was done crying, fixed himself up and went back out to join his brothers. Keep going.
And they set on for him by himself, and from them by themselves, and for the Egyptian, which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptian might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that it is an abomination unto the Egyptian.
Listen, now he can eat in peace. All the heathens, all the Egyptians, they leave, and that way Joseph can be with just his brothers and eat. Keep going.
And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And
they all sat with each other, enjoying each other's company, having a great time, eating and drinking, right? Sharing stories with one another. Keep going.
And he took and sent message unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times such much. And they drank and were merry with him.
And he had them all served, but he made sure he gave Benjamin times the amount of everything that he gave to his other brothers. And everyone drank, everyone ate, and everyone was happy with each other. Keep going, next chapter.
Genesis 44:1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack mouth.
Now Joseph did it again. He told his steward, listen, give them as much food as they can carry. Give them all back their money. Keep going.
And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph has spoken.
Now Joseph, he's still playing undercover. He's still in disguise. He has not yet revealed to his brothers that he is Joseph, their brother who they sold into slavery. So now he's planning something. He told the steward to put his silver cup in Benjamin's sack. Right? Keep going.
As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses.
And when the sun came up, his 11 brothers left his house and left the land. But the silver cup was still in Benjamin's sack, just like Joseph planned. Keep going.
And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the man. And when thou doest overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good?
Now Joseph is basically setting them up for something. He told the steward to put his cup in Benjamin's bag and send them on their way. Now he's going to tell the steward, once they leave the city, ride out after them with men, surround them, and find and search everyone's sack until you find the silver cup. Even though you already know who has the silver cup because you put it there yourself, whoever has it, bring him back to me. Keep going.
Is not this in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divideth? Ye have done evil in so doing.
Now I want you to say to them, when you find the silver cup, why have you stolen from my master? Why have you stolen from Joseph? After he fed you, after he gave you drink, you guys had a great night the last night. You guys all slept well, ate well. He gave you all the food you can carry for free. He gave you all back your money. That wasn't enough. You had to steal from him too. This is all a plan. This is not for real. Joseph is setting his brothers up for this, right? Keep going.
And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. And they said unto him, Wherefore saith my Lord these words? God forbid that thou servant should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which ye found in our sack's mouth, we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of the Lord's house silver or gold?
And they're trying to, to reason with the steward and the other men. Listen, we brought the money here to get back. We had a good time. Like, we wouldn't steal anything from your master. Keep going.
With whomsoever of thy servant it be found, but let him die, and we also will be my Lord's bondmen.
Listen, whoever is found with the cup, you can kill him, and we'll be slaves, servants to your master. Keep going.
And he said, Now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless.
Keep going.
Then thou speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack.
So now they're searching every man's stuff.
And he searched, and began at the eldest, and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack.
And they came to Benjamin, just like Joseph planned for it to be found in. It was right there. It was in Benjamin's sack. Keep going.
Then they rent their clothes.
They what?
Then they rent their clothes.
And all the brothers started tearing at their clothes. Keep going.
And landed every man his ass, and returned to the city.
And they all, got on their donkeys and went back to the city to Egypt. Keep going.
And Judah and his brethren came into Joseph's house, for he was yet there. And they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done?
Now they all went back to Joseph's house, and they all threw themselves at Joseph's mercy, bowing down on their knees. They fell before Joseph again, like Joseph said they would, to the ground. And Joseph said what?
What ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine?
He said, why have you done this? You didn't think I would have foreseen what happened? I'm the reason why the land of Egypt is surviving right now. You didn't think I would foresee you taking something from me, even though he planned this, right? He's playing with his brothers. Keep going.
And Judah said, what shall you, Salakia, what shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? God hath found out the iniquity of thy servant. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we, and he also, with whom the cup is found.
And Judah, remember, Judah told his dad, if Benjamin doesn't come back home, you can blame me. Judah's saying, listen, I'm sorry, my Lord. Please tell us whatever we can do to make up for this crime against you. We'll all be your servants. Let us know what we can do to fix this problem. Keep going.
And he said, God forbid that I should do so, but the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant.
What?
He shall be my servant.
And Joseph's like, God forbid, no. Only the man who was found with my cup will be my servant. The rest of you can go back home. Benjamin's supposed to go back home. Israel let Benjamin go with Judah because he trusted Judah to bring Benjamin back home. Now it's not looking like Benjamin's going to go back home like Judah promised he would. Keep going.
And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father.
And he said, and for all of you guys, Benjamin's staying here. He's going to be my slave now. All of you get out of my house and go back to your dad. Keep going.
And Judah came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ears.
And Judah's basically going up to Joseph and begging him, pleading with him. Keep going.
And let not thine anger burn against thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh.
And he's like, please don't be angry. Don't be angry, because you are as like unto Pharaoh. Keep going.
My Lord asked his servant, saying, have ye a father or a brother? And we said unto my Lord, we have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him.
And Judah's basically telling him the story and how they met and came to be. He's running down he's basically telling him the story of how they met, and that Benjamin is the baby. Their father loves Benjamin. Keep going.
Thou saidest unto thy servant, bring him down unto me, that I might set my eyes upon him. And we said unto my Lord, the lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die.
And we said unto you when you requested our brother be brought down, we said if Benjamin doesn't return back, that our father will die. Keep going.
Thou saidest unto thy servant, except the youngest brother come down with you, ye shall see my face no more.
And you told us we can't come back for food unless we bring our youngest brother. Keep going.
And it came to pass, when we came up unto thy servant, my father, we told him the words of my Lord.
And we told our father when we returned what you said. Keep going.
And our father said, go again and buy us a little food. And we said, we cannot go down if our youngest brother be with us. Then we will go down, for we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with us.
And we're all hungry now, and we tell him that we can't return unto you unless Benjamin, our youngest brother, comes with us. Keep going.
And thy servant, my father, said unto us, ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons, and one went out from me. And I said, surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since. And if ye take this also from me, and Memphis before him, ye shall go down, my gray hairs with sorrow, to the grave.
Listen, our father already mourned for the loss of his son Joseph, who died. If we don't bring Benjamin back, our father is going to die. Keep going.
Now therefore, when I come to thy servant my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life.
Now, if we return home and our father sees that Benjamin is not with us, his life is depending on Benjamin's life. If Benjamin dies, our father dies. If Benjamin doesn't return, our father dies. Keep going.
It shall come to pass, when he seeth the lad is not with us,
When Benjamin doesn't return, keep going,
that he will die.
our father is going to die. Keep going.
And thy servant shall bring down the gray hair of thy servant our father with sorrow to the grave.
And we will be the reason why our father dies. With sorrow, with heartbreak, with great sadness, for being bereaved, like we went over earlier, of his son Joseph and now his son Benjamin. Keep going.
For thy servant became surely for the lad unto my father, saying, if I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever.
And Judah's telling Joseph, listen, I put myself at stake. If I didn't return with Benjamin, my father's youngest son who he loves, then I'm to take all the blame. Everything bad, everything that is going to happen to me. Keep going.
Now therefore, I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad of a bondman to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brethren.
And he's begging him, please, let me be your servant. Let me be your slave. Let me be your bondman. Let me work for you. I'll do whatever it is that you want. Just please let my little brother Benjamin return to our father. I'll do anything you want. I'll be whatever you want me to be. Just please let me trade places with Benjamin. Please let my little brother return home, or else my father will die. Keep going. Well, I'm going to stop there, right? For the time being, I'm going to stop here for the time being to talk about it, right? If you go back and read, I think it was Genesis 32, Judah was the one who came up with the idea to sell Joseph into slavery. Judah was the one that began the conspiracy to kill Joseph. And now Judah is the one that is willing to give up his life for his brother. And he's telling Joseph this, right? You don't think Joseph can hear his brothers conspiring over him while he's sitting down in the pit? You don't think that he was yelling out to his brothers for help when they were negotiating the price for Joseph when they sold him to the heathens? And now Joseph, who has every right to hate his brothers, especially Judah, he's hearing Judah plead for Benjamin's life. He's witnessing Judah willing to do anything to save his brother's life, so that way his father doesn't die. He's willing to make himself a slave so his baby brother wouldn't be a slave. Joseph is listening to everything that Judah is saying. Keep going.
For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me? Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father.
And he's telling Joseph, how can I return home and then see all the evil that's going to fall upon my father for not having Benjamin with me? I'm going to witness my dad die in front of my eyes because his son Benjamin, my brother Benjamin, didn't return home like was promised. Because I already saw him almost fall to pieces for the loss of our brother Joseph. I told my father that Joseph was killed by an animal. And I saw how my father almost died. Didn't eat for days and weeks. Mourned. Moped around the land. Crying for his son. crying to God. And now I will do anything not to see my father go through that pain and suffering again. I will do anything to save my father's life. I will do anything to trade places with my brother Benjamin. I will be your slave. Just let my brother go free. Keep going.
Genesis 45:1. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried.
Read it again.
Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried.
Judah was the one that wanted to murder Joseph. And what does Joseph do? What is Joseph doing again?
And he cried.
He couldn't refrain himself anymore. Judah was the one that plotted to sell Joseph. And what is Joseph doing right now?
And he cried.
Judah was the one that negotiated for 20 pieces of silver to sell his brother Joseph to slavery. And Joseph is right here doing what?
Cried.
Joseph went through so much pain, suffering, turmoil, hardship. He has every right to hate his brother. But instead, Joseph did what? Read it from the beginning.
Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him.
Joseph could not keep playing this disguise, this little game that he was playing with his brothers anymore. And he what?
And he cried.
And he just burst out in tears. He couldn't help himself anymore. He couldn't help to see what his brothers were going to do next anymore. He was moved that he didn't have enough time to run to the back and go cry and weep in silence when no one can watch him. He busted out crying in front of his brothers. Keep going.
Cause every man to go out from me.
And he made all his servants leave his house, leave the room that they're in. Keep going.
There stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren.
And there was not one heathen in that room when Joseph finally revealed that he was their baby brother Joseph, who they sold into slavery all those years ago. It was in that very room when no one else was around but his brothers, his 11 other brothers. The 12 brothers were finally reunited again. And Joseph revealed to them that he was that brother that was immature. He was that brother that made them hate him. He was that brother that made them jealous of him. He was that brother that they beat up and threw into a pit. He was that brother that they sold into slavery. He finally revealed to them who he was, that he was their brother Joseph. Keep going.
And he wept out loud. And the Egyptian in the house of Pharaoh heard.
And he cried so loud, everyone heard him. The people outside heard him. The house of Pharaoh heard him. Everyone heard Joseph cry. Keep going.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live?
Sorry, no. Start verse 4 again. Sorry. Read verse 3 again. I'm sorry.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph.
And he tells them, I am Joseph. I am your brother. Keep going.
Doth my father yet live?
Does my father live? Does our father live? Is he still alive?
And his brethren could not answer him.
They couldn't answer. They were speechless. Keep going.
For they were troubled at his presence.
They were what?
Troubled at his presence.
They beat him up. Read it again.
And they was troubled at his presence.
They threw him into a pit. Again.
And was troubled at his presence.
They stole his favorite coat that their father gave to him for how much he loved him. Again.
For they were troubled at his presence.
They sold him for 20 pieces of silver into slavery. Again.
For they were troubled at his presence.
They told their father that Joseph was murdered by a wild beast. Read it again.
For they were troubled at his presence.
And now they realize that they are in deep shit now. This is what's going through their mind. They're in trouble now. Everything that was happening to them when they first came down to Egypt, so this very moment, is God's judgment and punishment on them. This is what's going on through their minds. That now we're going to be put to death. Now Joseph, who had probably had all this pent up anger and hatred, he's going to seek vengeance on them. Read it again.
For there was trouble at his presence.
They were not happy to see Joseph because they had no idea what Joseph was going to do to them right now. Keep going.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me.
But instead, Joseph said what?
Come near to me.
Instead of sending them to jail, Joseph said what?
Come near to me.
Instead of killing them, Joseph said what?
Come near to me.
Keep going.
I pray you.
Joseph told them to come to him, to gather around him. Keep going.
And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt.
Joseph told them, I'm your brother Joseph, who you sold into slavery. Remember, you guys beat me up, threw me in the pit. I was crying for help and no one helped me. You took my favorite coat with all the beautiful colors that Dad gave me. You stole it from me. Remember, you guys pulled me out of the pit and I thought you guys were going to let me go, but instead you tied me up and sold me for 20 pieces of silver. Remember, I'm that brother. I'm your brother Joseph. Keep going.
Now therefore be not grieved.
What?
Be not grieved.
Don't be grieved. Don't be sad. Keep going.
Nor angry with yourself.
Don't be angry at yourself. Don't hate yourselves for what you've done. Don't worry yourselves for what you did to me. Don't be angry and sad and depressed for what you told Father. Whatever it is you told Father about what happened to me. Keep going.
That ye sold me hither.
Yeah, you guys sold me here. But listen, don't beat yourself over it. Keep going.
For God did set me before you to preserve life.
Because God is the reason why I was put into slavery. I was sent to Egypt by the ways of a slave because God wanted me here to be able to save our family's life at this very moment. If God didn't put me here, you would never have met me when you came looking for food. If God didn't put me here, you would have not gone back home with food to feed our brothers and sisters and family and friends and loved ones. God is the reason why I was made a slave in Egypt. Because now I'm ruling, I'm second in command over all Egypt. Not once did either one of you pay for food that you brought back to the land of Canaan, to our father, to our mothers, to our sons and daughters and generations. You did not pay for not 1 ounce of corn. God sent me here. So don't beat yourself over the head. I'm not angry with you guys. I realize that everything happened for a reason. And I'm doing my part because this is what I'm supposed to do for you, my brothers. Keep going.
For these 2 years have the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall be neither be earned nor harvest.
Listen, because right now there's been a famine for 2 years. And it's going to continue for another 5 years. Keep going.
And God sent me before you to preserve you a
Posterity. Don't worry.
Prosperity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance.
And God put me here because God revealed to me that I was going to have to save your lives. And this is what I'm doing. I'm saving your lives. Because this is what God wanted me to do. This is why I was sent to Egypt. This is why I'm second command of all of Egypt. To save my brothers. And this is exactly why every single man in the I.S.U.P.K, this is our job. To save our brothers. To save our sisters. There's a reason why we're in the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA. I sold drugs. We sold drugs. You sold drugs. Right? I was a drunkard. You was a drunkard. We were drunkards, right? I used to be an abuser of women. You used to be an abuser of women. We used to abuse women, throw them left and right, use them and get rid of them, right? We were all thieves. I was a thief. I was a murderer. You were a murderer. We were murderers. But in the ISUPK, we all came here for a reason. Because God sent us to the ISUPK under commanding General YAHANNA. And the reason why God has sent every single man in the ISUPK is because our duty is to give a great deliverance to all our brothers and sisters that are still out there in the famine, that are still out there suffering, that are still out there hungry, that are still out there with no father, no mother, addicted to drugs, drinking alcohol every night to go to sleep, to hide from their pain and suffering, from being molested, from being turned gay, right? It is our duty. God sent us into the ISUPK to save our brothers and sisters' lives by a great deliverance. And everything we do in the ISUPK is to deliver our people out of this hell, to deliver our people out of this captivity, out of this starvation, out of this oppression, out of this poverty, to give our people hope again, to give our people a way to survive, a way to live correctly, a way to back to God. And this is what every man from commanding General YAHANNA all the way down to the young men walking into these doors for the very first time, there's a reason why God sent us. Right. There's a reason why God made Joseph go through slavery and all that torment. There's a reason why I grew up without my father. There's a reason why I witnessed my father hitting my mom in the face with an iron. There's a reason why you witnessed your mother trying to stab your father. There's a reason why you had to walk to school and step over crack pipes and crack needles. There's a reason why your sister got molested because her mom used to let men in and out of the house. There's a reason why. And that reason is because we were going to use all that pain and suffering in the ISUPK to deliver our people with a great deliverance. And that is brotherhood. That is sisterhood. To be able to use our own experiences of pain and suffering and realize why we went through it. Now I can talk to brothers who grew up without their fathers too. I can give them advice. Brothers who grew up without their mother, they can meet other brothers and sisters who grew up without their mother and give them advice. There's brothers who saw their parents addicted to drugs and they got addicted to drugs and finally cleaned themselves up and served God. Now they know how to speak to other brothers and sisters that are addicted to drugs, that are trying to change their lives. We use our experiences in the ISUPK to save our people's lives by a great deliverance. And that's exactly what Joseph has done because God wanted him to. This is what commanding General YAHANNA is doing because God wants him to. This is what every general, captain, officer, trooper is doing because God wants us to. It's all been planned. It was already known that we were going to be here doing this. Keep going.
So now it was not you that sent me hither.
It wasn't me smoking blunts and finally saying I need to quit that brought me here. It wasn't me sleeping with whores and getting my heart broken every time that brought me here, right? It wasn't the fact that I grew up without my father and I was angry all the time and used to lie and rob and steal and hurt other people that brought me here. It was God that brought me here. It was God that brought you here. It is God that has you watching this class right now in your car, on your slavery, listening to it on the phone while you're driving. God is the one that brought all of us here. Right. Keep going.
But God, and he has made me a father to Pharaoh.
And God made Joseph control of all of Egypt. So much so that Pharaoh looked to Joseph for advice. Pharaoh looked to Joseph for solutions for his problems, like you would to a father. Keep going.
And Lord of all his house. and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, thus saith thy son Joseph, God hath made me all of Egypt. Salakia. God hath made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not.
Now Joseph is telling his brothers, now go back and get our father and bring him here. Because God made me Lord of all Egypt. Hurry up and get father and bring father here. Keep going.
And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herd that thou hast.
And bring everything when you return. Bring everything you have, bring all your livestock, bring everyone that's with you. Because we're going to live, you guys are going to live in the land of Goshen forever. For as long as can be. For our children and their children and their children's children. Right? Drop down to verse 14.
Genesis 45 and 14. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck.
And he what?
Fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck.
And Joseph fell and hugged his brother Benjamin. Keep going.
And wept.
And cried on Benjamin.
And Benjamin wept upon his neck.
And they both cried in each other's arms. Joseph finally seeing his baby brother. Benjamin finally seeing his brother again, who he thought died. He grew up hearing that his father, that his brother Joseph was eaten alive by a ravaging beast. Right? Keep going.
Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him.
Now, when it says kiss here, it doesn't mean that he kissed his brothers physically with his lips. A kiss, according to the Bible dictionary, is a touch. You know how when we in the I.S.U.P.K salute each other, we dab each other up, we say Yahweh Bashem Yishar Barakatah. That's a kiss. That's a touch. We hug. We embrace each other. He embraced and touched all his brothers. They all wept together. They all cried together. They all forgave each other, like we are supposed to do it here in the I.S.U.P.K.
Right.
Whenever I see Abadia, I give him a kiss. I give him a salute. Right. Yahweh Hashem Shabbat thumb. Right. I give him a touch. I embrace him. We pull each other close and we give each other a hug because that's my brother. Right. That's exactly what Joseph is doing with his brothers. With Benjamin, Dan, and Judah, and Reuben, and Naphtali, and Issachar, and Asher, and Levi. This is what he's doing. He's embracing his brothers. Keep going.
And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph, brethren are come. And it pleased Pharaoh well, and his servants.
And we can stop there. That's brotherhood. The ability to forgive your brothers and your sisters for all the wrong that they've done to you. Listen, I don't know. It's kind of hard to match the pain and suffering Joseph went through. Right? Some of us been to jail for many years, innocently. Some not innocent. Some actually committed a crime that caused them to go to jail. Some men and women be in jail for 20, 30, 40 years and then found out that they were innocent the whole time. Some men and women get beaten up, right? Get murdered, right. Put in the hospital, disfigured, put in comas, things stolen from them, their loved ones taken away from them. Joseph went through a terrible ordeal, and he forgave his brothers. If Joseph can forgive his own flesh and blood for beating him, throwing him into a pit, stealing and robbing him, selling him into slavery, having him be accused of rape, trying to rape a heathen woman, being thrown in dungeons, being forgotten about, right? Right? If Joseph can forgive his brothers for those things that they did to him, that caused him to go through, we can forgive our sisters and our brothers for everything they've done to us. Just like we will want them to forgive us for what we've done to them. Right? And this story about the 12 brothers, the 12 sons of Israel, we learn how to speak to each other. From part 1 to this part 2, we learn how sometimes our words can cause our brothers to hate us or be jealous of us. How sometimes we may be showing off something that may cause animosity or jealousy in a brother's heart. We got to be mindful of the things we do and say to our brothers. Because we grow up in a world full of violence. We're sensitive. You know? Some brothers and sisters get triggered off of certain words. It could be something so small that can trigger them to going to the left and doing something wrong. We have to be mindful on how we speak, act to our brothers and sisters. Right? We have to be able to forgive our brothers and our sisters. We have to be able to forgive them for the things that they've done wrong to us. Just like we want to be forgiven for the things that we've done wrong to them. And this is a valuable lesson in the story of Joseph and his 11 brothers.
Right.
From everything, from what Joseph did to them, from what they did to Joseph having every right to put his brothers to death or enslave them. From his brothers finally admitting that what they did was wrong, and this is them being punished and receiving judgment for what they did to Joseph. And for Joseph forgiving them. This is what the I.S.U.P.K is all about.
Yeah.
Loving our brothers and our sisters. Forgiving our brothers and our sisters. Learning how to mature as men and women so we can speak and deal with our brothers and sisters correctly. Because we've suffered too much separately. We've all individually gone through great trauma and sorrow. But together we all need to learn how to heal with one another. Listen, I'm Priest and Officer Shagapan. I'm just doing what I'm told. And this is the I.S.U.P.K. Started out on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. And this is what we do in the I.S.U.P.K. We're sent here to save our brothers and sisters with a great deliverance. That's my time. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shagatam to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Atan, Bashim Shai to the sisters. Shalom, Israel.